Hello, and welcome back to As the Cauldron Bubbles podcast. Thank you for joining us. This is your special host, Jasmine, and I have my wonderful, beautiful, talented, clever, and witty co-host with me today.
Hey guys, it's Sid. How your mama now?
And we are so excited and enthralled to interview the one, the only.
Hi, I'm Jen. I'm the owner of Spiritual Gardens.
And we cannot wait to get into this episode of As the Cauldron Bubbles, an interview with Jen, owner of Spiritual Gardens. Jen, what brought you into the craft?
Looking for something that was outside of a church or organized religion and when I found this little store, World of Wisdom actually it was, I felt like I found my way home. And that was probably more than 20 years ago.
At what age were you when you first thought, I think I'm a witch?
Probably around 30, early 30s. Kind of dabbled in the occult as a teenager, like a lot of us do. But
Right.
it happens. But early 30s, I kind of devoted my life to that path.
So, would you say, Jen, that nowadays you would identify with the label witch?
Absolutely, without a doubt. 100%.
So, what does the term witch mean to you?
A lot of things, though, at one with nature, but mostly I'll manifest my own damn destiny.
Hello?
Okay. I'm in control. And I think that ultimately is my definition of being a witch. Manifesting my own destiny. A lot more to it than that, but that's the gist of it.
That's the core.
Yep.
So, Jen, for you as a witch, what are some things that you adhere to, or some aspects that you follow or practice, or what does your craft look like on a day-to-day basis?
Keeping it simple.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Absolutely.
Okay. Insignificant.
I don't need 500 ingredients to do that spell,
So we're a down-home witch. Okay?
Absolutely.
Follow the intuition.
Absolutely.
Do what works for the time.
More of the folk magic versus ceremonial magic.
Definitely. And it's more of a mental thing. I'll light my candles, I'll light my incense, but mostly it's that mental intention.
Our air quality. Getting that logic, that mind wrapped around it.
Yes.
So, as a witch, would you also identify as pagan, or would you call yourself a different denomination? Would you say that you're a Christian, a Jew, a Muslim, an atheist?
I'd say I'm a pagan.
You're a pagan?
I'm a pagan. And like a lot of us, grew up with Christian roots. So it's I think they're all God. I think, God just sometimes has to wear a dress to get through to a few people.
Okay. Switch it up a little.
So I don't necessarily call on specific deities for things. I call on spirit. I respect the different deities, but it's almost like I think of them as all the same person with a different outfit on. It's spirit.
when did you first feel like you identified as pagan?
Early on, when I started this whole path, so somewhere in my early 30s, 27 years ago.
Just 20 something.
Just
Just like 5 years ago.
It's called
20
many
or so.
moons ago.
Yeah, no, a couple of moons ago.
Well,
It's,
it's
just a few
because I'm
moons.
so young.
So
Honestly.
young.
I'm so young.
Youthful.
Honey.
Youthful.
You know,
Honey,
hanging out with these old women here.
Okay?
We're the crumbs here.
Yeah. So, what do you feel like, Jen, as a witch, as a pagan, are some stereotypes that you have to kind of combat or come up against, if any? What stereotypes do you feel like you kind of have to, like I said, kind of go up against?
Well, that one's kind of hard. I mean, you always get the occasional one that comes in the store and don't y'all have anything white in here? It's like, well, I have white candles. What is it we're talking about here? Apparently they're speaking more of something the angelic variety or Christian variety. So
they need an angel light, a little selenite, kind of moment.
They need something.
A
Little
little
Raphael, little Gabriel.
Yes. No, a lot of it that, I know a lot of us believe in multiple gods. I believe that all these multiple gods are a god, the god.
Mm-hmm.
It's that, how do I want to explain it? My path to spirit
Mhm.
is just as valid as the Christian's path to spirit.
Absolutely.
All
truths lead somewhere.
I think they're all the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much.
Mhm.
I think the path you grew up with to God is just as valid.
Mm-hmm.
It's just as beautiful. It's just a.
It's just
Help me
like
out here, guys. Come on.
So you're saying, at least when it comes to your path, like kind of all paths lead to some form of truth, but you have to kind of access that door for yourself.
Correct.
And other people just may not understand it. Other people may not get it because that's not their truth.
It's not their truth, right? So it's getting other people to accept my path is as valid
Right.
as their path.
Absolutely. Right.
And I think that's all well and good, but the question, Jen, is what stereotypes do you feel like you have to kind of work through or overcome as a pagan witch? Are there any stereotypes, if any? Maybe there's not, but I mean, I think some common stereotypes for witches would be that we, sacrifice animals, that we kill babies, that we have wild, crazy, sexual orgies during the full moon,
Well,
that we worship the devil. Like,
I can't speak for everyone in the the majority here, but some of those sound kind of fun.
I know. You're talking about a good Friday night.
Yeah.
Is that a
No.
3-day moon cycle out here?
I don't. One advantage to having the store and being in here is, you get the occasional one wandering down the stairs, wondering, why we're going to burn in hell because we don't have Jesus up in here. But everybody else that comes in wants to be here.
Mhm.
So
Or they're drawn in.
I'm not getting a lot of those kinds of questions, luckily, yet,
Mhm. At this time.
Ask me again next year.
okay. So, do you feel like, especially as a mother, right? Because you have several children,
I got four.
four
Plus
children.
a few extras.
Growing up, and as a mother with four children, as someone at that time, did you identify as pagan or as witch, or were we not quite out of the broom closet?
They were old enough to understand what was going on when I came out of the broom closet, and my children asked questions. Elizabeth still follows this path.
Doesn't she write in Theban?
Sam had a pretty good little vocabulary going on there too.
Okay.
So I think, they were exposed to church. They were exposed to various religions. I think they got a pretty good, well-rounded education on things, and I left it up to them to make their own decisions. I never hid anything from them. If they wanted to hop on a broom with me, they were more than welcome.
So, what would you say it was like raising children as a witch? Was it out of the ordinary? Was it pretty typical?
It was pretty typical. I mean, we ate dinner the same time everybody else did.
Okay. Put your pants on the same way everyone else did.
We just stirred our soup with a little more intention than others.
Okay. I love that. So now as an adult, do you feel, if any, desire for your children to also walk the same path as you as a pagan witch, or are you kind of more just whatever path they choose?
Whatever path they choose, whatever makes them happy. That's what I'm down for. Now, my grandson wants to learn to read tarot, so I'm all about that.
Okay.
I'm not going to hide the pride in that one right there.
Okay. So, Jeanette, what advice would you have for people who are new to the craft?
This is when I see people coming in with their list of 120 ingredients they need for this spell coming up. And break it down. Keep it simple.
Keep it simple, stupid. Okay.
You don't need 10 stones and 20 herbs to accomplish what you can just light a candle and set your mind to. And I think, we overcomplicate things a lot in life in general. We can at least pull this off to the side and break it down a little bit.
Right.
So stay honest, keep it simple.
That makes sense too, because I feel like a lot of people coming to the craft, like you get all these books and then you see all these other people doing this, that, and the third. So you're like, I got to use the black tourmaline, the three kings, and then I got to pull this out, and then my sage bundle's got to be this big, this wide, and do all the things.
And how many of them books on that shelf got dust on them? How many bags of books people haul into the half-price bookstore?
Okay. Take what you like and leave the rest.
Your tarot deck does not have to be a gift. You can go out and buy your own.
Please.
You heard it here first, coming at you live and in full color.
Now that is one that I hear a lot. I heard you can only get tarot as a gift. No.
We don't believe in gatekeeping out here.
No gatekeeping.
I kind of like my own stuff.
So speaking of tarot, what got you into divination to begin with?
Well, when I started working for World of Wisdom, all them years ago,
Many moons.
we had to do
Couple of them.
readings. And of course, in the interview I had to whip out the tarot deck and do a reading for the lady, and it's like, oh my God, I'd never used tarot before, so talk about faking it till you make it. We learned through trial and error. So we just jumped in head first and just did it. Luckily, I'm not that bad at it.
Well, it's like you're a witch or something.
You'd think,
It's like you're a psychic or something.
I mean, this intuition's really working.
I
know.
What was your experience like working there as a reader?
Oh, I loved it. We had the Aura, the Curlian photography, the Aura camera.
Uh-huh.
Loved that. I think those were my favorite readings to do, was the Aura camera. those are just fantastic. Just reading the colors. I mean, you can see if someone has like thyroid trouble because of that highlight right there on the throat.
Mhm.
It's awesome stuff. Now that's one thing I would love to have in the store. One of them little fancy
More the
Polaroids.
chakras.
Oh,
Autumn chakras.
yes. Now that was hilarious. The one guy called up and asked if we did them chakras.
Hey, y'all got them chakras?
Shoot, I like
Them
a few.
chakras?
Them chakras are nice, yeah.
Y'all do chakras? Why, yes, we do. Come on
Can I
down.
get them aligned or something?
Yeah, that cost extra.
So, Sid, do you have any questions for our guest tonight?
Okay. Per being an owner, a witch, and a reader, you know, the baddie. Okay, the town. Okay. What is the thing that makes you happy when it comes to the craft? Like, is it divination? Is it, you know, being able to help guide people? Is it, you know, being able to work with more of the stones, more of the herbs, get more into the dirt, if you will?
You know, of course, I love bits of all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Of course.
You know,
I
A
love-
Jill of all trades,
Yes.
if you will.
come on.
But y'all know I love my herbs.
Yeah.
I love my
Yeah,
herbs.
and your
Yeah.
You know, and my oils. I
Ooh,
love my
good
oils. Definitely. You could stick me in a big room full of herbs and oils and things and let me just create my stuff.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
and
my
we
spot.
do.
I see
And we do.
That's
we say,
my spot
hey,
right there.
We say, hey, Jeanette, she needs a custom.
She
Get her the custom.
She needs something specific to the situation, you know.
Oh, I got you.
Literally.
I got it. That's my favorite spot. I love creating.
You're so good at it too. Even making the candles. I was like, okay, let me just sit back. Yeah, I like that scent. You're like, no, let's do this scent, that's it. Let's try this one. Yeah, that one's gonna smell better. Mm-hmm. Get that one. Mm-hmm.
You know,
now
that's-
stir this pot real quick. I just stood back and stirred.
And I'm still learning the candle making myself. So it's all a learning process. But the blending, that you know, I think that's something I got from my stepdad, because when I was kind of young, let me go in the kitchen and teach me how to cook and stuff. I wanted to put garlic on everything because, you know, yummy
I mean,
garlic.
get your purification. Come on.
Can't
And
go
then-
wrong with a little bit of garlic.
Yeah, no, I didn't use a little bit.
You're like, yeah, this person needs a lot of cleansing.
So after tasting some of my creations, not so good. He'd open up all the spices. Now taste this and smell this and do this until you can like combine things in your head.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to do that with the scents. You know, I can combine them in my head.
Yeah.
It's cheaper to do it that way. Mixing the potion that's not so good.
You're the literal craft, because y'all didn't get to see me just stand back and watch her work. Okay, she just did the work. She put all the intent in.
The way she work it.
I was like, good. It's okay. Let me sit back. I'm like, let me take my notes. I'm like, curing, tunneling. Ooh, child. Okay, let me bring my notebook next time.
We need to have another oil class.
Please.
That was fun.
That was
Please.
fun. That was a lot of fun.
Maybe for the Yuletide. That'd be a cute gift, like your own custom made oils. You know, for that time of year. You know, the season of giving. You know what I mean? And then too, that way you're giving it to, you know, some of your family members who think they're not really into the craft, you know, but really, they like the smell goods too. They like the incense too.
No, I agree completely.
Absolutely.
Okay, Jeanette. Okay. Let me ask you another question here. So, okay, what is your favorite scent when it comes to, let's put it with a correspondence, y'all. Okay.
Okay, correspondence. Okay.
Okay, when it comes to, okay, let's say we want let's say we want people to have a little bit more of their intention embellished,
Of
a little
course.
bit more of the
Yes.
psychic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because everybody has their own intention, their own intuition, their own gut.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But what herb or scent, are you thinking of right here, right now, when it comes to that? Like, what would be your favorite scent to use?
What's your favorite scent?
First, the psychic. Well, I do make a psychic oil that I love, and it's a little bit of rose and mint, actually mixed.
Rose and mint.
Rose and mint. Got to put a little mugwort in there.
Oh,
Little
yeah,
herb
of course.
Absolutely.
You know?
Of course.
Mugwort number one.
It's. There's just something really positive about that scent,
Well, it's also invoking. I mean, the intentions.
I know rose is the love, self-love, and mint, a little money, a little healing, stuff like that going on. But mix those and add a little mugwort, and you got some serious psychic power oil.
Well, I mean,
I like it.
if you love yourself, and then you're putting in this like whole intuition kind of bind on here, I mean, how else will you kind of open up? Because I mean, that kind of makes sense in a way, because maybe if somebody's not as open, their heart chakra is a little bit closed, maybe that can help open it a little bit.
Could be.
Maybe open you up a little bit more.
Well, yeah.
Then that mint will give them the focus.
Could be.
Clear vision.
Eyes on the prize.
Okay, always.
As they used to say.
Always.
Yeah. Some of my concoctions aren't very traditional, but for me they work.
That's what matters, though. Because, like we said about them dusty ass books.
Oh yeah. Well.
So, as someone who works, with herbs and oils,
Mm-hmm.
what would your go-to herbs be? If you had to pick, I know it's hard.
Do you put a correspondence on that, or?
Some of the herbs with me are like some of the stones I use. I don't keep grabbing the same ones over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
I go to different ones for different purposes.
Mm-hmm.
But, lately I've been pulling out a lot of them Palo Santo chips.
Ooh.
Especially this time of year.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yes. So, I mean, I don't have any one specific or a couple of specific that.
What about juniper?
Oh, I love a good juniper berry.
I don't know why they just came to mind.
Tell us about juniper.
I do smash up in my Fortress incense. I do have some juniper berries smashed up.
All right, okay. I love a good juniper. Love a good juniper. And, I think that the thing that is so, empowering about herbology is that it can be so intuitive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Agreed.
You just connect with that plant deva.
Mm-hmm.
And you connect with the spirit of the plant.
Mm-hmm. Well, the spirit of the plant is one thing, but I think when you're in tune as well to what you're trying to put together, when you're putting all those herbs together, because they all have their own separate correspondences and ideas, and this Scott Cunningham book versus this DJ Conway book.
Ow! You done beat me with the
I'm
pumpkin.
sorry, we're dropping a pumpkin over here down my desk.
Overall.
Yeah, the correspondence. The correspondence.
When you're putting it all together, your intention is key. And then also yes, there's going to be certain herbs, like no matter what, roses love. Okay, but have you thought of a rose thorn for protection?
Oh yes,
Hello?
absolutely, absolutely.
Or the root.
The root, you have to have the root.
The rooter and the tutor.
Okay. Like, you really have to think of what are you trying to manifest. I think that's probably I don't want to say the hardest thing, but I think the thing that trips people up when they are coming to the store and they're trying to figure out, okay, I need this, that, and the third. And it's like, baby, what was the main reason for you coming in today? You had this intention, You know, you ain't gotta tell me what you doing.
But you know,
what are you trying to accomplish?
sometimes they're all over the place.
Yeah.
And I don't even think they know their intention.
No.
They just know they need help,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And sometimes I think that's a moment too, because it's kind of like, okay, maybe you need to sit and wait on this a little bit more, or you know, get a reading or do a reading for yourself and see like, do I really have all my ducks in a row? You know what I mean? When it comes to what I need to manifest, or do I need to, you know, maybe take a moon cycle to figure this out? This little new moon vibe. I need to sit and wait on it first.
A lot of people are also manifesting their own bad stuff because they're putting so much into it. Oh, I think so and so hexed me. So it's like, well, you know, keep thinking about it, keep talking about it, and maybe so.
You hex yourself too. Yeah.
My stepbrother, in all of his words of wisdom, once said, because he thought someone had put something on him, some stuff was happening, and he went to someone he knew was a high priestess.
Oh.
A high priestess of what?
This is like back in Utah, California.
Oh,
Long time ago, don't know nothing.
You never know.
Utah, California.
Don't know nothing about it. Just the words he said was, she had told him, when it come to someone else putting something on you, you need to be a window and not a wall. Let it flow through.
Let it flow
Right.
right out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Words to live by, words to live by.
Shoot, write
I
that
mean,
down.
not wrong.
You're not. Never thought of it that way.
Faith over fear.
Oh, there we go.
This back home. No, that's an Odin moment. I feel like that's different. A little bit of a hangman.
So Jen, like as someone who's, like I said earlier, someone coming into the craft, who's listening to the podcast, who's totally brand new to the craft, to the occult, to the gods, who might be seeking some sort of counsel or guidance, what advice would you have for them?
You know, you've got to look at everything and handle, touch things to figure out what it is you're going to like, which direction you're going to go. I mean, the craft, the path is so vast. There's so many. You're going to be a little kitchen witch. You're going to be, you know, you're going to work with stones. You're going to do this. Play with all of it. Figure out where you fit.
Where do you gravitate?
Absolutely.
You know, what do you want to learn more about?
And you don't have to do it all at once.
No.
We can do
my
this
God,
a little at a
no.
time.
We will always be a witch. Okay? Always a bruja. Always a healer, a shaman, whatever you want to call it. Like, baby, you will always have time on the spiral to figure it out.
Yeah, and read
Mm-hmm.
read everything.
Learn
And
from other people.
if you're not agreeing with what you're reading, you know what? Move on to the next.
Okay.
If it's not fitting with what you're trying to do,
Mm-hmm.
keep going until you find your spot.
Hello.
Honestly.
Well, thank you, Jen, for coming on to the podcast. You have been so lovely.
Gracious.
And I look forward to the next time that we have you on. You know, I can't wait to talk more about your store and the shop and
Sure.
your experiences as a store owner, a brick and mortar store
Oh,
owner.
we've got some lovely stories for that.
Ooh, okay. So y'all make sure you stay tuned for our next episode with Jen. And you have been listening to As the Cauldron Bubbles. And until next time, guys, blessed be.
Blessed be.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.